Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling, well, a really big decision for a lot of people. Figuring out the undergraduate business program landscape in California.
Yeah, it can be pretty overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So our focus is on 5 specific schools. University of San Diego's Moss School, Loyola Marymount's College of Business Administration,
Mm-hmm.
USC Marshall, Pepperdine's Seaver College, and the business program at UC Berkeley's Haas School.
A good mix of schools there.
We've really dug into the sources, looking at reputation, academics,
Mm-hmm.
how you actually learn, career stuff, campus vibe, flexibility, getting in, and of course the cost.
All the key factors, basically.
Exactly. The goal here is to pull out what really matters, give you that info quickly but thoroughly, maybe spark some aha moments without just drowning you in data.
Right, cut through the noise. Because what's interesting is how different these programs feel, even though they're all in California.
Totally. Each one has its own, flavor.
Mm-hmm. And for you listening, figuring out which strengths match your goals, well, that's crucial. We're trying to get past just the rankings.
All right, get to the heart of it. Okay, let's start down south. University of San Diego, the Nass School of Business. What's the vibe there?
So USD Nass, it's got a solid reputation, especially in the region. Poets and Quants ranked their admission standards number 57 nationally for 2025.
Okay, so respectable.
Yeah, and their acceptance rate for the business school itself was around, 47% for fall 2023. So it's definitely competitive to get in.
And academically, what are they offering?
Well, they've got a BBA, that's the Bachelor of Business Administration, and also a BACC for accounting. Good range majors, too. Finance, marketing, supply chain, international business.
Real estate, too, I saw.
Right, real estate. And importantly, they're AACSB accredited. That's, a big deal for quality, both in business and accounting, which isn't always the case.
Oh, interesting. Dual accreditation.
Yep. Plus, they offer these 4+1 master's programs if you're thinking ahead about grad school.
Okay, and you mentioned experiential learning earlier.
Yeah.
Sounds like Naus takes that seriously.
Oh, very seriously. The number was 94% of grads from a few years back did something experiential.
Wow, 94%. What kind of things?
All sorts. Internships, obviously. They even have a fund, which is pretty cool, to help students take unpaid internships.
That's a nice touch. Removes a barrier.
Definitely. Then there's study abroad. They have extensive options, even international double degrees, student consulting projects, a student-managed investment fund.
So real hands-on stuff with actual money or clients.
Exactly. And resources for entrepreneurs, too. And this is interesting. They really leverage the San Diego location.
How so?
Well, San Diego's big in biotech, defense, tourism, cross-border business with Mexico. NOS taps into that.
Okay, so local industry connections are strong.
Yeah, they have specific centers of excellence, one for real estate, one for supply chain, lots of networking events, a decent alumni network, especially in Southern California.
And does that translate into jobs? What are the outcomes like?
Seems like it. For the class of 2023-24, almost 89% were employed or in grad school within 6 months.
That's solid.
And the average starting salary was around $71,000, median $72,000. Finance and banking, real estate, engineering roles had even higher averages, like in the low to mid-80s.
Nice. Accounting grads doing well, too.
Yep, the BACC grads had over 93% positive outcomes, mostly employed.
Okay. What about the campus feel, the culture?
Sources describe it as collaborative, supportive. It is a Catholic university, and they emphasize values, something called change-making.
Change-making.
Lots of business student clubs, over 20, and they have the Naus Center for Business Education, so good facilities.
So summing up USD Naus, values-driven, strong regional rep, huge emphasis on practical experience, good career stats, especially if you're interested in San Diego's key industries.
That's a good summary. But it is a private university, so you have to factor in the cost. Tuition alone is over $60 for 2024-25.
Right. Cost is definitely a factor. Okay, let's head up a coast to L.A., Loyola Marymount University, LMU. What's their story?
LMU is interesting because while their overall rank might fluctuate, they really shine in specific areas. U.S. News puts their entrepreneurship program at number 12 nationally for 2025. International business is number 15.
Wow, top 15 specialties. That's impressive.
It is. And Poets and Quants rank them well for career outcomes, number 44 in 2024. Plus, U.S. News calls them a best value school.
Best value. That definitely catches the eye for a private school.
Exactly. It suggests a good return on investment. Academically, they offer a BBA with majors like entrepreneurship, finance, management, marketing, and separate BS degrees in accounting and information systems and business analytics, or ISBA.
ISPA. Sounds tech-focused.
Yeah, analytics is big there. And a core theme across the college seems to be ethical leadership. They call it business for good.
Fits with their Catholic, Jesuit, and Marymount traditions, I imagine.
Likely. They also get recognized for their undergraduate teaching quality, ranked number 31 nationally by U.S. News.
So strong teaching, strong specialties. What about that hands-on learning?
LMU emphasizes it too, but maybe with a slightly different flavor. They're highly ranked for service learning and community service.
Connecting back to that business for good idea.
Seems like it. They have the CBA Advantage program that tracks student involvement outside of class. Internships are encouraged, and like USD, they offer funding for unpaid ones.
Any specific examples?
Well, the ISBA students do capstone projects with real companies, like Northrop Grumman. That's pretty direct industry experience. And they have global programs too, study abroad, courses with travel components.
And being in LA must help.
Oh, absolutely. Access to entertainment, tech, Silicon Beach isn't far, aerospace, international trade, the whole startup scene. That high entrepreneurship ranking makes sense in that context.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
And career outcomes reflect that.
The data suggests yes. One source mentioned 94% employment for management grads in the previous year, and overall LMU grads do well, either employed or heading to grad school. Placements include big names like Google, Apple, Nike, EY, Deloitte.
So, solid placements. The best value tag seems earned.
It appears so. The culture is diverse, shaped by its Catholic roots, but with a strong service commitment. They have around 18 business student organizations, too.
Okay, so LMU. Strong specialties like entrepreneurship and international business, focus on ethics and service, great LA location, and that best value recognition could be a really compelling option.
Especially if those specific programs or that ethical focus really speaks to you.
Right. Now, let's talk about USC, the Marshall School of Business. This one's always near the top of the lists.
Yeah, USC Marshall is, well, consistently elite. Poets and Quants had them at #1, #2, #3 the last few years. U.S. News usually has them in the top 10.
So a powerhouse.
Definitely. Oldest ACSB accreditation in Southern California, too. They rank highly across the board. Admission standards, academic experience, career outcomes.
What are the academics like? Is it just a standard BBA?
They have the BS in Business Administration, the BUAD, but you can add emphases. Things like business analytics, entrepreneurship, finance, real estate finance, marketing. Several options.
So specialization within the main degree.
Exactly, and a separate BS in accounting through their Leventhal School. But what's really striking is the number of joint degrees they offer with other USC schools.
Like what?
Business of Cinematic Arts, Computer Science and Business Admin, International Relations and Business, Real Estate Finance and Development, even AI for business now.
Wow, that's incredibly interdisciplinary.
It really is. And another key point, all their undergrad business programs are STEM certified.
That's huge, especially for international students thinking about OPT work authorization after graduation.
Precisely. It gives them more time.
And experiential learning at Marshall. Must be extensive.
Oh, absolutely. Huge focus on global exposure, short-term travel programs, latency, GLP, TIE, Excel semester abroad options, global internships.
So lots of travel opportunities.
Tons. Plus integrated projects with companies, service learning trips. Domestically, they have an experiential learning center for simulations and obviously strong career services for internships right there in LA. The variety is just impressive.
And again, that LA location, major advantage.
In Norris, entertainment, tech, international trade, finance, startups. Marshall is plugged in. They have centers for entrepreneurship, innovation, entertainment technology, strong industry ties.
What about career outcomes recently? Are they still placing really well?
The sources we looked at didn't have super detailed recent undergrad-specific stats broken down, but Poets and Quants still ranks their career outcomes #7 nationally for 2025.
Okay, so still top-tier outcomes are implied.
Exactly. And historically, placement rates were incredibly high, like 97% back in 2021, with average starting salaries well into the 70Ks then, likely higher now. Think major consulting firms, Big Four accounting, tech giants, investment banks. They recruit heavily there.
Makes sense. What's the student body like? Big school.
Yeah, Marshall's large, over 5,000 undergrads, diverse student body, very active campus life, tons of clubs. But they offer flexibility within that size.
How so? With the emphases you mentioned.
That, and it's apparently quite common for Marshall students to double major or minor in other fields across USC, plus all those joint degrees we talked about. You get admitted to USC first, then declare Marshall.
Okay. Admission must be incredibly tough then.
Exceptionally tough. USC's overall acceptance rate for fall 2024 was under 10%. Average admitted GPA around 3.9, average SAT over 1,500, though they are test optional. It's a holistic review.
Wow. Okay. And the cost. USC is known for being expensive.
It is. The total cost of attendance is pushing towards maybe even past $95,000 a year now. It's a big number.
Oof, that's significant.
But they do have a net price calculator. And critically, USC is need blind for admissions and commits to meeting 100% of demonstrated financial need for admitted students.
Okay, so the sticker price isn't necessarily what everyone pays.
Yeah.
Need-based aid can make a big difference.
A huge difference. And they offer merit scholarships too, but you usually need to apply early for those.
So, USC Marshall. Top-tier reputation, comprehensive programs with lots of flexibility and joint degrees, incredible global and experiential opportunities, powerful LA connections, great outcomes, but super competitive to get into, and a high sticker price, though aid is available.
That sums it up well. It's a top contender if you're aiming for that elite level and can navigate the admission and cost hurdles.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Pepperdine University in Malibu, their business program is within Seaver College. What's the focus there?
Pepperdine offers a different feel. Good regional reputation, definitely growing nationally. Their big emphasis is on value-centered education, ethical leadership. You'll hear phrases like purpose, service, leadership.
Connected to their Christian University affiliation, I assume?
Yes. Academically, they offer a business administration major within Seaver College, and it's AACSB accredited. They've also been ranked well for undergraduate teaching in the past and have some respect for their accounting program and entrepreneurship.
And experiential learning. Malibu isn't exactly downtown LA.
True, but they still emphasize it. A very high percentage of Pepperdine students study abroad. It's a big part of the culture. Entrepreneurial training gets highlighted, too. The location, while Malibu, is still close enough to tap into LA's Silicon Beach tech scene.
Any particular industry strengths because of the location or focus?
They seem to have good connections in entertainment marketing and the music business, leveraging that LA proximity, and they talk about a strong alumni network, the Pepperdine family.
What do career outcomes look like?
Sources suggest solid outcomes. College scorecard data pointed to early career pay around $56K, but mid-career pay often jumps, possibly because many grads go on to get MBAs. Accounting students tend to do well on the CPA exam. Overall, a high percentage, maybe around 90%, find their path job or grad school within a year.
And the culture, besides the values focus.
It's a smaller, private Christian university. Average class size is around 19 students, so more intimate. Strong sense of community is often mentioned.
Admissions, less intense than USC.
Yeah, appears more moderately selective than USC or Berkeley. The mid-50% high school GPA for Seaver College applicants for fall 2024 was roughly 3.7 to 3.9.
Still strong students, but maybe a bit more accessible. What about cost?
It's another expensive private university. Median debt load for graduates was reported around $27K, which gives some context.
Okay, so Pepperdine, strong focus on ethics and values, smaller community feel, great study abroad participation, solid outcomes, beautiful location, maybe a different pace than the big LA schools.
Right. A good fit if that values-based approach and tight-knit community appeal to you.
All right, our final stop takes us north to the Bay Area, UC Berkeley and the Haas School of Business, another absolute powerhouse.
Oh, definitely. Haas is consistently ranked right at the very top nationally for undergraduate business, often neck and neck with places like Wharton or Michigan Ross. It's arguably the premier public business school program on the West Coast, maybe in the country.
What makes Haas stand out besides the ranking?
Academic rigor is a big one. It's Berkeley, after all. The program attracts incredibly bright, ambitious students. The curriculum goes beyond just business fundamentals. It really pushes critical thinking, leadership, and understanding the broader impact of business.
And that Bay Area location, Silicon Valley's backyard.
Exactly. That connection is absolutely central to the Haas identity and opportunity set. The access to tech and venture capital is just unparalleled.
So experiential learning must be heavily tech-focused.
A lot of it is, yes. Internships at major tech firms, startups, it's huge. But they also have strong ties to finance in San Francisco. Experiential learning is baked in. They have things like the Haas Impact Fund, where students manage real investments, consulting projects.
That's intense. And entrepreneurial.
Very. Berkeley's whole ecosystem supports student ventures. If you want to start something, especially in tech, it's an incredible place to be.
And the career outcomes, I imagine they're stellar.
They really are. Haas grads are heavily recruited by everyone, top tech, top consulting, top finance. Their analytical skills, leadership training, that innovative mindset, it makes them extremely sought after.
Salaries probably reflect that.
Consistently among the highest average starting salaries for undergrad business majors anywhere in the U.S., the ROI, especially for California residents paying in-state tuition, is potentially massive.
What's the culture like within Haas? Is it cutthroat?
It's driven, for sure, highly competitive to get in. But the sources often describe the internal culture as surprisingly collaborative. Students are engaged, work in teams, and there's a shared sense of wanting to make an impact. Defining principles like question the status quo or confidence without attitude.
Interesting. And being part of Berkeley gives access to everything else the university offers.
Right. World-class faculty across disciplines, diverse student body, research opportunities. It's a comprehensive university experience.
The mission, I assume, is incredibly competitive.
Extremely. You apply to Berkeley first, and then apply separately to Haas after completing prerequisites, usually in your sophomore year. The acceptance rate into the Haas undergrad program itself is very low.
Okay, so Haas, top-tier academics and reputation, unparalleled Bay Area Silicon Valley access, focus on innovation and leadership, outstanding career outcomes, intense but collaborative culture, highly selective admission.
That nails it. A phenomenal program, especially if you're aiming for tech or finance on the West Coast.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. 5 really distinct California undergraduate business programs. We had USD NAS with its values, focus, and experiential learning.
LMU standing out in specialties like entrepreneurship and offering that best value.
USC Marshall as the comprehensive elite LA powerhouse with tons of options.
Pepperdine offering that ethics-driven community feel in Malibu.
And finally, UC Berkeley's Haas, the rigorous Bay Area-centric, top-ranked public option.
It really highlights that the best program isn't a single answer. It truly depends on you, the listener.
Absolutely. What matters most to you? Is it the location, the specific major or specialization, the campus culture, career stats, affordability?
You need to weigh those factors against what each school really offers.
We definitely encourage you to take this as a starting point. Dig deeper into the schools that sparked your interest. Check out their websites. Maybe try to connect with current students or alumni online if you can.
Yeah, get a feel for the place beyond the stats. Picture yourself there.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Yeah.
Considering how much business and technology are merging, how innovation is becoming so central, how might that trend influence the future value of these different programs?
That's a really good question. Some programs lean more into tech and analytics than others. How important will that be in 5-10 years?
Something to think about as you weigh your options. It's a changing world out there.
Definitely something to consider for the long haul.